I remember getting invited to a big Hollywood party. It was my first one. And it was at the home of a major Hollywood star. And I realized that in Hollywood, people often invite, if they're invited to a party, they'll invite someone else without even consulting the host or the hostess. And so I found myself at a party in Beverly Hills, at the woman's house who at that time was the biggest star in television. And I remember looking around and seeing all the familiar faces and kind of being in awe. And I remember thinking, this is so cool. And as I would think that, I would hear my mother whispering, what are you doing here? This is not where you belong. Not too long after that, I was in an agent's office. I was being interviewed for a job. Remember when musicals and specials were part of television? And now it seems that it's all sex and funny, ha ha ha, and gore. But I remember being interviewed by this agent, and they were looking for someone to come in and work on a TV special. And when he mentioned this one name, I suddenly sat up and took notice because Frank Sinatra was going to be part of this. And I thought, wow, to work with Sinatra, this is a long way from Indiana Academy. And soon after that, no, I should say, as I was sitting in his office, and I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but he said, if you can bring this in a certain amount of time, in other words, we're behind time, that's one reason we're hiring you. We've already got a lot of musicians. But we understand that you're someone that we can bring in kind of at the last minute, because I was just beginning a career. And so I sat there and listened as he said, you know, we're going to give you a bonus. We're going to give you a weekend in Vegas. And then there was a pause, and he said, what would you like as a bonus? Do you like blondes? Do you like redheads? Do you like brunettes? And once again, I heard my mother's voice. What are you doing? I never had an answer for that. I remember going out to dinner with friends from time to time, friends who would have wine with dinner, and then they'd go to a club afterwards, and they noticed that I didn't drink. And trying to fit in, one time tried some wine with dinner, and remember thinking, this tastes like medicine. Why would anybody want to drink this stuff? And then they would laugh and say, you know, you'll get used to it. You'll get used to it. It's the way it makes you feel. It's not the taste. As I would drink it like I was drinking the 7-Up, I realized if you drink wine, you don't drink it that way. Soon after that, I got a call from Orangewood Academy, from someone that you all know, and someone that I grew to love as one of the dearest friends in my life. This woman has been a very talented and capable piano teacher here for many, many years. At that time, in 1982, she was also chairman of the board, and she wanted to know if I'd be interested in coming to Orangewood and interviewing for a position. I was curious because I'd been offered a job at Orangewood about 5 years before, when I was teaching on the East Coast. But one of my students was the son of the man who came to be our conference treasurer. And he said, I want you to come to California. I wasn't really interested in California. I like living in Maryland. I like living near Washington. It's a great place for someone who loves history. And everything is free, or at least it was then for my students. So I didn't come to Orangewood, but when I got the second call, I was curious. So I told my friends I was going to Orangewood, and they said, are you going to go back into teaching? I said, no, but I'm just curious. I want to see the campus. Now, I want you to listen carefully to what I'm saying, because as the stories of my putting the piano lid down are a bit exaggerated. It was never done in anger. It was just a way to finally, after saying, I have to be quiet for about the 5th time, or please give me your attention. I found the first time with my elbow on the lid, when it went down, bang, everybody stopped talking to pay attention. I came to Orangewood and I met Millie Wolford. I fell in love with Millie Wolford as a person. And I love her to this day as one of the finest people that I have ever known in my life. She and Ron have been tremendous friends to me. I went to Loma Linda because Orangewood was killing me. Would you just please teach something else? Would you please just... And my wife said, when are you going to tell them no? And I said, it may just be easier to leave, because I don't know that I can tell them no. So I went to Loma Linda for 9 years and loved my teaching there. And then a call came to go to Hawaii. And we had been there, my wife Judy and I, on our honeymoon. And we decided it'd be a great adventure. So we went, and I loved it. I loved it more than she. After 4 years, when I would say, let's go for a drive, and she would look at me and say, around the island again? But I loved the music, the symphony, all the stuff that I loved here is incredible in Hawaii. And if you've been to Hawaii, I doubt if any of you have gone to the symphony. But the symphony is amazing. The classical music is... And I learned more about World War II. I learned more about history. And I learned more about children, because through the years, the children are the ones that I have come to love the most, and partly because they're so open. When I would come to Orangewood, my very first day of school, after vowing that I don't know what I'm going to do because I don't really know much about children, and I told Mrs. Wolford when they hired me, I don't really want to teach children. I don't do itsy bitsy spider. I don't do goo goo wham wham stuff. And she said, but we think that you'll get into it. And you know, I did. And you heard the reference about 50 Nifty. Now the first graders do it. It's one of those songs that kind of come up every year, even though you don't perform it. And for those of you that think that music does not have an influence on your children, because it does.
We have to practice. And if you're sitting there, do you want to sing along? Go ahead. I think we've done that off and on every year since we started. We're going to give you some music now that comes from our hearts. Children, again, love to sing.